have gone through your questions, madam.
No, I haven't. Somebody showed me a paper, but I don't like looking at them before. Also, I had no time.
Right. Mrs. Gandhi, how do you explain the landslide victory of your breakaway party in the southern states?
It's obvious to anybody who lives in India that the people are with me, not only in the southern states but wherever I have been, and I've traveled fairly extensively in the northern states as well. They're with me because they know that I have worked sincerely for them, and our programs, although they were not as fully implemented as we would have liked and the people expected of us, still they were doing things for the weakest and the poorer sections. Now, the Janata Party did such tremendous propaganda at the time of the parliamentary elections that the people were misled and they thought they could do more. They found in these months that far from going further, what we had done is being undone, and there is no real program for people. And the other situation, that is a law and order, crime, prices very high in the market but very low so far as the farmer is concerned, for instance. All these is causing deep distress.
Are you planning to make a comeback?
I don't know what you mean by a comeback, because I have never left politics, so there's no question of coming back. There are two types of politics. Abroad, that is in Europe, in Western countries, they regard it as a career. Now, I have never looked at it like that. My family came into politics when there was no question of any kind of post or reward. It was just a voluntary life of very great hardship, not for the sake of suffering hardship, but for a cause, which was independence of India. Now, I feel that until we solve the problems of poverty, we haven't really consolidated our independence. Therefore, that struggle is still on. And while it's on, I don't think any patriotic person can sit silent. Now, so far as the career part of it is concerned, I'm not interested, and I would have liked to work much more quietly. But the behavior of the government and the manner in which they have tried to crush political opposition, which is mainly the Congress, has left no other choice.
Do you think you could regain nationwide support in the very near future?
Well, I think I have it, provided the elections are fair.
How do you interpret the Janata Party's performance in the office?
It's more, I think it's such a negative approach. Their approach is so negative that one can hardly regard it as a government. Everybody speaks with a different voice, and each of them are more concerned with being anti-something rather than for any positive program. So, as I said in answer to your previous question, every section is dissatisfied. Mainly, of course, the prices are spiraling so much. Then the law and order, murders, thefts, accidents, railways and planes and so on. But to me, as somebody who's held a responsible position, what is most disturbing is their recklessness and inconsideration of the future. I mean, the selling off of India's gold reserves at a time when we are not in dire necessity. And one can understand if you touch rock bottom, you just as a poor person says, well, I'll sell anything I have in order to eat. But we left the economy on a very sound, stable base, and this has been acknowledged by World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and all the world governments. In the short time of less than a year, they are reduced to selling our gold reserves. They're also auctioning off national treasures such as priceless, fabulous historical pieces of jewelry belonging to the Nizam and so on. And generally, I think national interest is suffering very much, and I don't know how the situation can be recovered even in the future.
What kind of domestic and international platform do you intend to develop to increase the influence of your party?
I'm not interested in increasing influence of the party, except insofar as implementation of programs are concerned. Our policies are very well known. They are to make India self-reliant, because we feel that's the only way that independence can be safeguarded. Now, you can't be self-reliant if the masses of the people remain in want and poverty. Therefore, all development seems to, no matter how hard you try, and we tried very hard, not to benefit the better off people. Somehow, any program benefits those who have. Now, all we can do in this, we can't say we won't do anything for them, because that would be, cutting off your nose to spite your face. I mean, it would harm the country. But what we did and what we plan to do is to try and redress the balance. As soon as this is happening, you have some program to help those who have been sort of neglected or not benefiting from the program. For instance, our Green Revolution benefited the better off farmer and made him much richer. But it increased the gap between the better off farmer and the smaller farmer. So we had programs for the small farmer and what we call the marginal farmer, of loans, of help, different kinds of help, and that did help them. Of course, all these programs take some time to show results, but we were showing results.
Thank you very much.
एक मिनट में उसके बाद ही एकदम ही डल हो गया।
की नेता इंदिरा गांधी, देश 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 की नेता इंदिरा गांधी।
वैसे 12 बजे हम आपको बोलेंगे।
I was not well. I had to meet you when you came to Andhra, but I was not at all well.
But also I didn't have a second day, we had no time for food, nuts in the car.
I think I'd had a glimpse of you, I thought so, but I was not looking too well.
There's only one. No, I phoned to him. If I'm not there, you can only give
मुबारकबाद देने के लिए कलेक्टिवली सारे मिलके वैसे तो सारे आए थे मजबूरी तौर पर आज एक रोज तक जनकपुरी भी आप आज बुलाना चाह रहे हैं पश्चिमी क्षेत्र का कुछ प्रोग्राम आप दें ताकि हम आपका एक उसकी तैयारी
और वहाँ हमने कांग्रेस वर्कर्स की वो शिविर लगाने का भी फैसला किया है। तो आप मतलब
प्रोग्राम के बारे में निर्मला जी ने उनकी बात अच्छा आपकी तो हर चीज नहीं मैंने लेनी है ये बहनें हमें नहीं है ना ये बहनें नहीं है ना इनकी रोशनी इतना ग्लेयर कर रही है इधर से बस इनका ले लो आप पीछे से बताइए
देश की नेता देश की नेता भारत माता की भारत माता की रात को जाना पड़ेगा यहाँ से
और तो कोई गाड़ी
एंड और बाई कार जाना तो बड़ी टायरिंग है 6 घंटे
whatever it is, I can't change the train time.
वो सीटर करने हैं लेन मत लगाई
So one o'clock.
Constitution.
We'll be there.
Now you see, these people have to go to Parliament, and why don't you take your photography here, and the other thing you can come in the office.
Yes, take the photography and come there.
Just few words.
We are deeply concerned about the manner in which this government is disposing of the country's treasures and resources. First they started off with selling our gold reserve. Now they are planning to sell the Nizam's jewelry, which is a national treasure and its rightful place is in a national jewelry museum. Okay?